and we're live here at KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM in the IE, or anywhere in the world at kcaaradio.com. You're listening to Highlight One Radio, the show where each week we highlight one musical artist that we believe deserves to be in the spotlight.
Welcome to Highlight One Radio. My name's Luis, this is Frank, and we are your hosts. I am so happy to be here. How are you feeling, Frank?
I'm doing good, and we have a great guest tonight. A dear friend of mine, and we have three gentlemen actually, and they form the band Navel. They're a great band. We have some great music from them that we're going to be playing for you tonight, and we're going to introduce them in just a moment. So the three gentlemen here are Drew Worsley, Wally Worsley, and Gree Breyer. So welcome, Navel, to the show.
Good evening.
Good evening. So how you guys doing?
Good. It's late over here on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to touch on that in a little bit about how you guys are a long-distance band. You got a little long-distance bromance going here. So,
Bro, indeed.
So let's go through each one of you first and get to know you as individuals before we get to know you collectively as a band. So let's start with you, Drew. Who are you? What is music to you? And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Drew. I am the vocalist and bass player in Navel, and music to me, I would say, is my passion, heart and soul. Like, reason I'm alive some days, I think, is because of music. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on through to Wally. Who are you? What do you do in the band?
My name's Wally, and I am the guitar player. Do harmonies and some vocals as well. And music for me, actually, the collaboration that the three of us get to do. That for me is what the group effort, the listening. That's where I thrive.
Like collaborative.
Awesome. Now, Gree, am I pronouncing your name right, Gree?
Yep, that's
Awesome.
it. Short and sweet.
Okay, I like it. I thought it was great up until about 10 minutes ago, so I'm retraining my brain here.
I have had Greg all my life. I answer to that too.
So, you are obviously the third member of Navel, and we would like to know a little bit about you.
Well, I met these fellas in the late 90s, early 2000s, and just by happenstance got called to be in another emergency gig they needed me for, and within a couple of days I was in Navel, and we've been, I guess, like brothers. They are brothers, but I'm their adopted brother for the past 20 years.
Awesome, Gree. And what do you do in the band? What you do in the band?
I bang things aggressively.
Hey, let me put that on my Tinder profile real quick.
Yep. You don't even have to credit me with that one. And I was when we were a live band, when we played, I would sing. We all three would sing, and we had harmonies. But here in the days of the remote long distance recording relationship, I have yet to lay any vocals down. My singing days may be over.
Okay.
We'll get him singing again.
Going into a group, we have a team building exercise for you here. This is a off the cuff question, but collectively, as a team, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
There's nothing on earth that scares me more than a horse, so I'm gonna go with the duck option.
A duck-sized horse, a horse-sized duck.
As long as it's not a horse, I don't care how big it is.
Wow, okay.
That's fair.
A big old 5 foot tall duck coming at you.
Gree made an executive decision for the band here, but that's okay.
You know, at that point they have the numbers on.
He took
him,
the
right?
leadership role here. That's perfect. Sometimes you need someone to grab it by the horns and take over the situation.
or by the
Well, I mean,
feathers.
if you need
By
me
the
in
feathers,
the fight,
yeah.
just, as long as it's not a horse.
As long as it's not a horse. Yeah. If they veto you, you're just gonna tap out, huh?
They can smell fear too. They know who to go for first.
Right.
That is true.
Okay, so also moving into the band, tell us a little bit about your musical style.
A hard rock would be kind of where I first put it, but you know, the three of us bring in so many different influences into what we do.
Because I've noticed
It really is. It's a strange thing that we all like the same band, and if you could, say that we modeled anything, it's not necessarily to recreate the style, but recreate the fullness and the big sound with minimal members of King's X.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Now, go ahead.
If we had to list like one influence that was probably predominant over all the bands we listen to, even though there's hundreds of bands we all listen to, I would say King's X is probably the band that really
Biggest inspiration.
had the band take shape when we started with that.
Yeah, they do so much with so little, and we were like, let's try to, do more with just us. It's inspiring to try to pull everything out of you. All the tricks and get everybody singing, try to have some lush harmonies at the same time. It was a no-brainer. You see those guys live, and you just can't believe that it's just three folks. So
Yeah.
we always tried to be bigger than just three folks.
When
I
I
was
first,
gonna say, it reminds me of a gig where the three of us played in Richmond, and I think the biggest compliment we got was somehow we got lumped in with some death metal hardcore bands, and their friends came up to us while their band was like, those guys have 5 members and you have 3, and you sounded so much bigger than they do right now.
Oh yeah, when you
So
use
that's what
you
we
got
strove
properly,
for.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you could make a whole lot more with a lot less when you use what you got properly.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then before we get into your first song, I have a question about your workflow. We live in the digital age now, which I imagine is very helpful in this regard, because I don't believe all of you live in the same state. Is that correct?
We're in
None
three
of us
different.
do.
3 different states.
So it's completely long distance. It's all over the place. Okay, so Drew, you're in LA, right?
Yes, I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay, and Wally, what about you?
I'm in Maryland.
Maryland, okay. And then Dree, what about you?
Yeah, I'm still in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay, perfect. So how does your workflow work as a group? How do you collaborate on your music and get it all recorded, mixed, and mastered? How do you go about that?
So I guess with this project started, I think with a lot of bands are doing this. It started during the pandemic. A lot of us had a lot of extra time, started writing a lot of songs because we had so much extra time on our hands, and I started writing just tons of songs to kill time. And as I was writing them, I was like, man, these are Navel songs. These aren't like my solo project song or another band. Like, these are songs that I would write with these guys back in the day, or the songs that I always would want to write with them. So I started demoing everything out, and I started sending it to them and saying, hey guys, what do you think about doing a project again and getting the band back together, So yeah, and that's sort of what got us started.
Another COVID
Text
baby.
messages.
Yeah.
Just straight
So
up text
Navel
messages.
was reborn as a COVID baby, huh?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So we're gonna get into your first song here. It is called "For the Fallen." Would any of you like to introduce it for us and tell us a little bit about it before we start?
Go on,
Drew,
Drew.
you started this one.
Okay, so during the pandemic, dear friend of ours named Don De La Pena, he passed away very suddenly, and he was actually one of the first drummers in Navel back when we first were out of high school. So I wrote this song for him as a tribute actually, and it's got also has a guest appearance by Brian Craddock from the band Daughtry on it as well.
Oh wow.
So it's a very heartfelt, meaningful song to us, just kind of paying tribute to our friend that we lost suddenly.
And what was his name again?
Don De La Pena.
Don De La Pena. Okay. Well, without further ado, here we go. For the Fallen by Navel.
Gone in a minute, so many years went by. I'm sitting here wishing we talked one last time. Hold back these feelings, everything's alright. Flooded with the memories of all those good times. Thank you, lost soul bleeding for the fallen. I'll see you again when it's all over. The pain, it makes me sober. The demons won't take over. You were gone in a minute. Now there's darkness in the sky. Searching for a light to take me out of my mind. Hold on, we will not forget you. Hold strong, we will not forget you. Thank you, lost soul bleeding for the fallen. I'll see you again, my friend, when it's all over. The pain, it makes me sober. The demons won't take over. Thank you, lost soul bleeding for the fallen. Lost soul bleeding for the fallen. Lost soul bleeding for the fallen. Lost soul bleeding for the
And that was For the Fallen by Navel here on KCAA Radio. Wow, guys, that was awesome.
Excellent job, gentlemen. That was
Appreciate it.
beautiful.
Thank you.
It was full. It sounded well made, which a lot of times you'll find artists that have songs with all the content there, but they don't build it properly. And I thought it sounded great.
Super clean.
Audio quality was good. And it had something behind it, which is also special. A lot of songs don't have anything behind them. So shout out to your fallen friend there. I know you're making him proud.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Fantastic. You know what I would call that is garage rock. I can imagine listening to this song while my dad yells at me and I'm holding the flashlight shaking.
Right.
Fantastic music.
So I have one other question moving before we get into our next song here. How can people find you as individuals online as well as a group? Because I know at least one of you has a solo music career as well. So how can people find you? Let's start with Drew.
You can find me on Instagram, Drew Music,
Okay, and how do you spell Drew?
DROO
I
for
like
Drew Music on there.
Nice.
Clever.
All one word, no underscores, no dashes.
Nope, it's Drew Music.
Wow, good
Okay.
catch with that handle.
Yeah. And I
And-
also have I'm on Facebook as well, but that's Drew Music 1, DRO Music 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Wally, what about you?
Yeah, I'm. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook as Wally Worsley Music.
Okay, and how do you spell
Now
Worsley?
for, catch when I do like solo, I go out and play solo acoustic a lot.
Oh, awesome.
So that's how that's why I promote my gigs.
And how do you spell Worsley?
Worsley.
Okay, so Wally Worsley Music.
I
Awesome.
printed out an Instagram QR code for the gigs because people, don't have to remember how to spell the name.
Temporary tattoos and stickers.
Yeah.
And then Gree, what about you?
I actually don't do any of that because I have nothing really to promote. I think I might have an Instagram that I created so I could stalk my teenage daughter back in the day, but I actually don't even know what it would be. So I guess the only place to that I would communicate would be on the Navel Facebook page,
Okay.
unless these bozos can convince me to do something else.
Well, no worries.
Three
And then,
drums.
as a group, Naval Music is your Instagram handle, right?
Yes, that's
It's
correct.
Naval Music on Instagram. I
Ah,
couldn't do Naval
shoot.
Music on Facebook, so you search Naval. But if you had to do the tag, you'd have to. When we first started, our first in high school, our friend we came up with the name Naval, and the not logo, but the catchphrase was the anatomical void.
I've always wondered about the name. It sounds good.
So-
I always wondered why Naval, but that's perfect.
Someone added to the Naval
Yeah, but
Wiki.
when we we started in high school, our friend goes, "Let's call ourselves Naval," and Drew and I are like, "Okay, cool." And then he made stickers that said Naval, the anatomical void. So that was our catchphrase.
That's perfect.
And so for Facebook, if you search at the anatomical void, that's how you can get Naval to pull up if it doesn't pull up in a regular search.
Awesome.
Thanks for telling me now.
So
I guess
what song do you
I
think
guess
we're gonna play
I'm
next?
in a private group. Jeez, I'm really bad. I'm bad at technology.
Well, you're good at music. That's all that matters, right, man?
Hey, well, I appreciate that.
So we have another song here called "End of Time." Does anyone? How about Wally? How about you introduce this one for us?
Yeah, End of Time. There's another one that I think that Drew wrote and sent to us, and
Okay.
he wrote it about parts of our childhood. So when I heard it, it was hit real close to home, and it's about being left, and
Okay.
that was, I guess, the second song that we started recording together.
Oh wow.
And for me, it was like being in the pandemic. It was I had a 2-year-old son, and I was the full-time parent. So my sessions were during nap time. So that's how I was getting
So
this
much
song
goes
done.
on
It was
during
the nap
nap
time
time.
sessions.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, rock music, notoriously quiet and calming.
Yes, exactly.
I got to be recording out the back of my amp and in headphones and getting it all done that way.
Well, awesome.
Don't wake the baby.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's play it. End of
Okay.
Time by Naval, KCA Radio.
End confused and a little scared. We found peace in our own despair. Moved around and ended up somewhere. Didn't know how to come up for air. Staring at the sky, wonder where you are. Hope that you come back, we wish upon a star. Yeah, you left us hanging on. So we don't know where to call home. Searching for something that you never find. What made you think it's best to leave us behind? Yeah, you've been gone so long. Yeah, we don't know where you've gone. Pick up the pieces that you left behind and keep on going till the end of time. Yeah, you've been gone so long. Yeah, we don't know where you've gone. Pick up the pieces that you left behind and keep on going till the end of time. Yeah, you've been gone so long. Yeah, we don't know where you've gone. Pick up the pieces that you left behind and keep on going till the end of time.
Yowza! That was End of Time by Navel here on KCAA Radio. Wow, that was fantastic. A super full sound. Amazing.
Thank you.
I was getting Audio Slave vibes personally, and I love Audio Slave. That's one of my favorite bands.
Oh,
it
nice.
had-
Yeah, I love it.
Very cool.
The guitar reminded me of what's the Rage? Well, the Rage guitar player is also an Audio Slave. But I
Tom
can't remember-
Morello.
Tom Morello.
Tom
Morello,
Yeah.
yes, Tom Morello. And then, but the vocals were more Chris Cornell style than Zach De La Rocca. So that was awesome. That was solid.
Did some fusions.
Yeah.
You know?
And then that breakdown, like the last quarter of the song, there's at the start of the last quarter,
Right at
there's
the
that
2-minute
breakdown.
mark.
I almost got Tool vibes from that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that
It was like a
uh,
breakdown with like a guitar solo in the background. It's like a whiny guitar solo, so it almost doesn't even sound like a guitar because you have
It's
the
not like the distortion.
the distortions.
Yeah, there was
Good job.
it was a really cool drum programming thing that Drew had done in the original demo that he sent out to everybody. That when I listened to it, and when a bass player or a guitar player programs a drum machine, a lot of times you need 8 or 12 arms to play it. So when you think about what you're going to do as a drummer and the importance, where the song lays, what the groove is going to be, but then that one section, I was just like, there's no way that I want to play acoustic drums with that droning, but that part that he had was so awesome. We were just like, make it sound like you recorded it in a trash can and keep it,
But
Like you were saying
So
earlier,
it's-
it's about like the economy of action. Like sometimes when you choose not to do something, that's a choice of itself that has artistic merit, right?
Oh yeah. Even if I wanted to recreate that on live drums, it wasn't going to have the same effect because it was perfect, just like it was. And I'm glad that's kind of what we've been doing through text messages and emails and phone calls, is kind of arranging on the fly. The songs are, by the time they get to me, the songs are pretty much laid down arrangement wise, although we have chopped and done some edits because the magic of Pro Tools, and you can just on a whim copy and paste something or remove something and fade something else in. So arranging has been the task that I guess is the most time consuming and strenuous, because
Oh, yeah.
everything is already there.
Oh yeah, and that
Yeah.
touches back to what Drew was saying earlier about, having the connection, even though you guys are across the country, like working together to compose. It's fantastic. It's so hard to wrap my head around.
I think we played together for so many years, played so many gigs together, so we sort of know, like, writing these songs. I kind of know like what Gree's gonna think, or how he's gonna play this part, or how Wally's gonna play this part when I was writing a lot of this stuff. So I just think we know each other so well, and we played together for so many years, and I just think that's why it's showing up now in these songs. That
It just works. It just works.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I do want to point out too, we do have a music video out for that last song right now on our YouTube channel. It's like an old sci-fi spoof video. It's
Oh.
kind of fun. Yeah.
We will be
It's
posting on the
awesome.
Highlight One Radio Facebook page. We will post a link to that on our Insta and our Facebook page, so
Awesome.
people can see that. A quick shout out to our awesome engineer here, Mr. Eric Rosario, host of Palm Trees and Progress on KCAA as well. I believe he's on. What days are you on now, Eric?
Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. And,
Wednesdays, 8 o'clock. So
thank you.
24 hours. So be sure to tune into his show. He's a great guy, good friend of mine, and we're happy to have him here. I don't have to monitor the levels myself anymore, which is the levels are controlled in that room, so it makes it a little difficult. So thank you for being here, Eric.
Thank you. If you guys want to catch Eric's show, it's on this same station at the same time, same bat channel.
But a day later.
A day later.
Thanks,
yeah.
guys. Appreciate the shout out.
Now, we have another song here, and this one is called Saturday Night Party Anthem. This one was just released, I believe, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And we'll get into a little more detail after the song, but I'm really excited about this one because I had some post involvement in this. Not in this recording here, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But I'm really excited to show you this. This is a great song. I've listened to it way too many times at this point because I've now remixed it. But
And as his roommate, so have I.
yeah, yeah, my monitors carry quite well through the walls.
I can sing this song in my sleep.
Yep. So, would anyone like to say anything about the song before we start? Bree,
this,
it's your turn.
This
Go
is
ahead.
a definite departure from our normal sound. This is another benefit of writing and doing this remotely is finding something that you normally wouldn't do and just figuring out how to make it yours. And this is if Navel played the blues almost, this is the bluesy rock almost. I think that it's kind of like an old not Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith tune. It's got
That's a
that
good
same
way to
sort of
describe
like
it.
swanky.
Swanky.
Swanky. I like it. Well, here we
I
go.
enjoyed this one because I got to pull from different styles and influences that I don't normally get to pull from for a Navel. Most times when we do a Navel tune, this was a
And
lot of
there's
fun
God
to
bless
record.
it slide guitar.
Oh yeah.
And what was that?
There's a slide guitar on it.
There is.
Oh,
We got
wow.
our friend of ours from Charlottesville, Jamie Dean, to come in with some very Allman Brothers style slide guitar because that's his forte. We thought it'd be fun to bring in some other family of our, from the Naval past to do some of this recording. As we brought Brian in for the Fallen. So
Collaboration Kings.
I can't take credit for the awesome slide guitar in this one. Just the big riffs.
Yeah.
And that's KCAA Radio, Saturday Night Party Anthem by Navel, coming up next.
Spend the whole week alone, living a 9-to-5 life. I got nothing to show, just a whole lot of debt and a chip on my shoulder. Another day, another dollar, another year getting older. But it's the weekend and I just got paid, so I don't give a damn anyway. Flip the switch and put my best shoes on. Out the door 'cause I don't care anymore. But down the street I can hear the noise, the screams and hollers and all the joy. It's time to leave the stress at the door. Kick back, relax and let it go. Yeah. It's a party, it's Saturday night. Everyone's going crazy. Music's jamming and we feel alright. Shots at the bar making me feel hazy. In the corner try to start a fight. I ain't gonna let nothing faze me. Tonight we're gonna fly. Let's set the night on fire. Tonight, let's get this right and take it high. Feels like we got all the time in the world until 2 a.m. hits and it's back to reality. Huh, forget it. Let's hit the after party. We'll take it all the way till dawn. Keep the drinks flowing, yeah, get your groove on. One step to the left and back to right. Shaking like you never had tonight, some night. Leave your worries at the door. Kick back, relax, and let it go. Come on, let's go! It's a party, it's Saturday night. Everyone's going crazy. Music's jamming and we feel alright. Shots at the bar making me feel hazy. In the corner try to start a fight. I ain't gonna let nothing faze me. Tonight we're gonna fly. Let's set the night on fire. Tonight, let's get this right and take it It's a party, it's Saturday night. Everyone's going crazy. Music's jamming and we feel alright. Shots at the bar making me feel hazy. In the corner try to start a fight. I ain't gonna let nothing faze me. Tonight we're gonna fly. Let's set the night on fire. Tonight, let's get this right and take it high.
KCAA Radio, that was Saturday Night Party Anthem by Navel. That's Navel Music on Instagram.
Awesome, awesome. That one's a jammer.
Thank you.
Super.
When I wrote that song, I was really, I really wanted to write something that, like, if it came on in a bar or something, that people would just like have a good time and be singing along, dancing. I'd never written a song like that before. It was always like deep in my feelings and about struggling with depression and stuff like that. So I was like, I just want to write something that's fun, you know. And then that's what came out.
You don't know what the lows feel like until you feel the highs, right? And this song absolutely captures that essence of the highs of life, right? And I love it when musical artists like their own music, listen to their own songs, because I'll say right now, anyone who is not watching kcaradio.com, you can see the live stream of these fellas, and while this song is going, all three of them are little bobbleheads, you know, moving their heads around.
For the listeners, if you were wondering, there were 3 little blips in there. That was off the cuff censoring of one 3-letter word that I'm not sure I'm allowed to play, so I just had to play it safe. But those little obnoxious blips weren't going to be in the track, which is now available. I believe on all platforms, correct? On all major platforms?
Everywhere, all platforms.
If you want to listen to the song completely uncensored, go ahead and contact Navel, watch Navel on YouTube or anywhere you can listen to music. You know, hum it, and I'm sure it will come to your own brain.
Yep. Now, About a month or two ago, I got a message from Drew. Drew's a good friend of mine. I DJ'd his wedding. And back, that was a long time ago now. That was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, long time ago.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I was there. Wally was there. Hey.
Yeah, so we've met. I remember Wally. I
Yeah.
don't remember if I got a chance to speak with you, Dree. But
Wow, like a
it was a fun
crossover
night.
episode.
I was in high
I,
school still.
I may have been outside just staring across the road at the Chips building because I, never thought that I'd be that close to one, and I was waiting for Ponch, and I got distracted.
Yeah. Well, so Drew contacted me about 2 months ago and said, "Hey, we have a new song coming out, and we want to release a remix of it, like a dance remix." And I happen to make dance music, like EDM, on the computer stuff. So he sent me all the files, every little snare,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
every stem file for the song, and I got to work. And this is what we came up with. We're gonna hopefully record some vocals soon for it to for the sped up tempo. But we want to show you guys because we're really excited about it. So we're gonna do the Saturday Night Party Anthem 71 remix right here. So here it is. my remix of Saturday Night Party Anthem by Navel.
Very cool.
Listeners, that song is not yet released, this remix portion. That was a work in progress. So if you wanted to hear that song again, you're just going to have to re-listen to this broadcast. That was an exclusive check-in for all you guys.
But the original Saturday Night Party Anthem, which is amazing, is out on all platforms now by Navel. So, honest review, gentlemen. What do you think?
That was fun. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know if Drew showed you the final edit, well, semi-final edit. We're going to add, my time stretching algorithms on my software aren't the best, so we're going to re-record the verses and fit those back in. But we're really excited about it, and I'm grateful that he reached out to me. That was a fun project. So
Yeah, he actually didn't play any of that for us, so we were here.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a total surprise for them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't even know it was a thing.
Gree, what was
Yeah.
your first impression on this? Since it was your first time hearing it as well.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing. I was surprised when you said that you were working on a house style EDM remix. I was like, whoa. What because I don't think like that. So of course I was wondering what bits and pieces you were going to pull and chop, and I thought it was cool.
Thank you.
I definitely, I've heard I've not heard the bass track soloed like that.
I
And
fell
especially-
in love with that bass
Especially it
line.
being a little faster, like the tone of it. I'm trying to figure out if he was using the Music Man or the 12 string.
No, that's the Music Man. That's the Music Man through the Doug Pinnick Tech 21 pedal.
You know,
There you
Drew, you said that you never made a song like this before, but you envisioned it as something that could be played in the back of the bar that you're at, or you could imagine it being played in the bar. I would imagine this song absolutely being played in the back of the club, right? I could see some people dancing.
Exactly. That's kind of what I wanted, like the extension of it. So you got our version where you're in the swanky bar, throwing down beers, but then this other version, you're at the nice upscale club and it just comes pumping in and everyone's just going nuts and
See, back in the 90s, I remember it starting to become like a thing that you had these big clubs that had multiple levels, and you could walk in the ground floor and there's a rock band playing, but then you'd go up to the second floor and it was like a house DJ party, and then the third floor had like all the balconies and I guess VIP or whatever. But those two songs could be playing at the same time in the same establishment with two completely different fan bases grooving on it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we are down to our last 10 minutes here, so we're going to get into our last song. This one is unreleased, I believe, correct?
Yes, it has not yet been released. This is the only place you're going to hear it until the full record comes out.
So this is a world premiere
Peak.
of Sludge by Navel. Would anyone like to say anything before we start?
Shoot, I was trying to figure out what song you were about to play.
But wait, there's more apparently. We'll have to bring you back on when your full album comes out.
So this song is one of the first ones I wrote when I started writing songs, and I call it Sludge just because it's got that really slowed down, like almost in slow motion vibe for the verses. I was really going for. I was listening to Soundgarden Super Unknown album a whole lot.
More Chris
So some of
Cornell,
those
huh?
slower, sludgier songs on that record. I was really trying to shoot for that kind of vibe. I always wanted to do something like that, so I did it.
Awesome. Let's get into it. KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. This is Navel Sludge.
World premiere.
Sitting on borrowed time and all my rage.
And that was Sludge by Navel here on KCA Radio. Wow, guys, that was awesome. Frank, what do you think about that?
That might be
Thank
my
you very
favorite,
much.
actually. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. I actually left that one as a little surprise for myself. I overlooked it on the list when they sent me the list earlier. I didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised. So, gentlemen, we are down to our last 4 minutes here. So we have about 3 minutes to wrap up here. I would like to say before we get back to you guys, this is Navel, the band. They can be found on pretty much any streaming platform out there. You can find them at Navel Music on Instagram. I know you can find Gree by Carrier Pigeon. You can contact him.
Smoke signal.
Smoke signal. And Gree will come into from the distance.
Just
Um,
as long as
Drew
it's not
Music,
Tony
DROO
Stewart, picking up
Music,
that mail
Drew
from a horse.
Music, DROO Music,
On
and
Instagram?
Wally Worsley Music. I'm sure if you contact the Navel, if you message Navel on Instagram, they can get you, linked with each other. And I want to thank you guys a ton for coming on, and just some final remarks from you guys.
I was gonna say back to your, the three of us listening and bobbing our heads like this is the first time you've gotten the three of us in the same room listening at the same time
Oh wow!
to the music.
Yeah.
It's all text message and just to putting it together. So that was the first group listen.
So fun.
I feel like we should also
Completely
give
different
shout outs to Kevin McNulty, who's been doing all the mixing and the final mixing and mastering. He's been doing a superb job.
Great work.
It's almost, he just really brought it to life, this whole project. So just want to send a shout out to him, and then Andy Waldeck, who's been doing the drum sessions recording at Ravensworth Studios in Virginia.
Yep, and shout out to Greg, the owner of Ravensworth, Greg Schomborn. He's a righteous cat and makes it very comfortable, very easy for us to go in there. Got a good, quick setup. I'd never played these songs before, so I listened to them in the air drum, and when I set my drums up, it's the first stab at them. So, just kind of a dry run with headphones to loosen up, and then start to tracking. So it's kind of fun being put on the spot because it really, you break it down to the essence, the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Keep it
Awesome.
simple, and serving the song instead of trying to come up with a bunch of showy BS that is self-serving and put yourself out front and takes away
So
from
awesome.
the actual groove of the tune
And
itself.
we are down to our last 2 minutes here. I hate to cut you off there. I just want a quick word from Wally before we go. I don't think he gave his last remark yet.
Oh, yeah, I did. Last remarks. It's been fun to get to record these songs, and I feel like we're getting even tighter now than we were when we were in the same room, just because of the growth we've had over the years apart. That bringing all that back together again is creating these new, fun, cool songs and different approaches from all of us,
Awesome.
especially
guys.
me.
Awesome.
I wish we had another hour to talk about this, but I'm sure we'll have you guys on again when you have
Next
your
release
next
for sure.
Release.
So this is Navel. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you. We'll have you back
Thank you
on
so much.
when your next release comes out. We appreciate it. So you've been listening to
you.
Highlight One Radio. I am DJ71, your host, and this is.
Luis.
And to quote my good friend Father John, who used to be in radio, if no one's told you that they love you this week, let us be the first. Have a great evening.